Would you all like to see exclusive content, behind the scenes content, some of my bloopers, all of the funny stuff, all the stuff I really don't want you to see? Then tune into my Patreon. The link is below. Enjoy the show. June 5th, 2023. I just finished my 9th episode and final guest episode for season 1. My thought in this moment is grateful. Each guest has been a pure joy to engage in conversation with and so gracious with their time and sharing personal experiences. The joys and pains of life. We all have them, and God and heart willing, we get through them. I'm honored to share my next guest, Lenise Robinson, and thankful for her spending a little talk time with me. Enjoy. Today we have a very special guest. She is a fellow cosmetologist, and one thing that I love about this guest is that she has stayed true to our hair. As long as I've known her to be in the hair care industry, she's been dedicated to sisters in our hair, and I just really love that because that's not easy. So I introduce to you curl specialist and textured hair educator Lenise Robinson. I did. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I usually start off with my painful truth in the moment. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I just, and we kind of briefly talked about this, but I just have a friend that is in need of prayer. I'm just going to say that, she's having one of the toughest fights of her life, but I am confident that she will get through it. But that's probably what's heavy on my heart this morning. Other than that, I'm thankful. I try to be grateful for everything. But yeah, so that would probably be my painful truth in the moment. That's usually where we start. Do you have anything, a painful truth in the moment?
I do. Well, first of all, I will be in prayer as well.
Yes.
She's also a fellow friend. So
yes.
I'll be in prayer around that. So I believe I re-injured my shoulder, which I've already had surgery on. So it's giving me some pain. So that's
goodness.
That's my painful. I actually have two. So that's my painful truth, as well as raising an adult child.
Yes, honey.
That's
an ongoing one.
So much.
Yes.
Yeah, ongoing for sure.
Yes.
That's my baby.
Yes. I tell people, clients who sit in my chair all the time, I tell them all the time, I'm just like really realizing this adulting thing is the rest of my life. Like what? Yes. It is something. Yeah.
It is. I asked my son once, when are you going to get out of my pocket? He was like, Mom, never.
Right. Yeah. And that's probably legit.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
Wow. It's what we have to do. So,
it is.
Put on a smile and do what we got to do.
Yes, I agree. So how did you first, you said you had surgery on your shoulder?
I did. Yeah. So as you said, I'm a curl specialist. So I work with a lot of curly, highly textured, high density hair all day. And so the constant motion of blow drying and flat ironing and twisting and all the things just created a tear in my rotator cuff, a small tear. So I had that repaired in 2019. Okay. And so last week I was sweeping in the salon and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh my goodness.
There's something going on, but I'm about to go on vacation next week.
Oh, good.
So it's just going to have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to have to hold
So let's say, for instance, that would you have to have surgery again, you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm just avoiding it until after my vacation.
Wow.
Which is probably irresponsible, but whatever.
That's okay. That's how we do as stylists sometimes, especially when it comes to physical ailments and stuff, because I know so many who work through carpal tunnel for years before they get it addressed. So how long was it bothering you before you went and got it looked at?
Ooh, it was probably a couple of years. And
did they say? So I'm asking this for stylists that are younger than us that are coming up. You know what I mean? Like, do you wish you would have dealt with it then, or did they say that, you know, it was just at the early stages, you caught it in time? Like, what was?
So I'll say two things. Well, one is don't do what I do.
Okay.
Don't do what I did. Because it probably got worse over time, because I also sleep on my shoulders, so it just makes it even worse. So, but what I will say in all transparency is I had to take 6 weeks off work.
Wow.
And around the time when it started to bother me, I probably could not have done that. And been successful.
Gotcha.
So I will say that. But if you can get it looked at and get it worked on when you feel the pain, just do it. Because I don't even remember anything specific happening. Right. I just remember having a constant pain in my shoulder.
Right.
So and so that's what it feels like now. And it's not all the time, but it's certain movements that I do where I can feel it the most.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you will go after your vacation and get it addressed immediately.
I do. And the thing is, I have 2 vacations back to back, so it's really gonna probably have to wait realistically until like August.
Okay.
But I'm catching it way sooner than I did the first time.
Yes.
So I'm proud of me for that.
Yes, I'm proud of you for that too. And I might just send you a little DM and say, it's August, Lenise. Just remember. Because I do know as we get older, it just, things don't heal the same. We don't. The bounce back is not the same.
Yeah.
And the sooner we take care of things, the easier it'll be for us in the long run.
Yes, for sure.
Yep. So how old is your son?
He's 22.
Okay.
23 in November.
Okay. Yep. He's still at home with you?
He is at home with me, but we are, in the next couple of weeks, he will be moving to my rental property. So my first home, he'll be moving into that house.
Okay.
And I'm so, some parents are like, I don't want my baby to leave. Listen. It's time.
Is this going to be the first time?
Well, he went away to college, so he graduated from Hampton last year. So he was in Hampton for a while, and he actually lived with his dad prior to that.
Okay.
So he was with his dad from like the summer between 11th and 12th grade until he went to college. Okay. So I have been like in my house by myself for quite some time. So him coming back home and moving in with me was an adjustment. Yeah. So, and I'm also like, even him going to college, again, moms are like, you're not going to miss your baby. Yes, I'm going to miss him, but it's time for him to go and figure his own thing out. Like, I'm not that mom that wants to, like, hold on to him like that. Because he has to figure things out. And also, somebody going to die. If he don't, somebody is not going to make it. And it's my house, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the one still alive. It's a point where it starts to affect your relationship. Yes. And we've always been like, that's my dog.
Yeah. So
I don't want it to get too far gone.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. And I say, with my son, I say, because I've moved to Charlottesville, and they're like, you're not coming back? And I'm like, probably not. And they're like, well, what about Kibo? And I'm like, he gonna figure it out. Because if he doesn't, he has to. And if he doesn't, he won't. If I figure it out for him all of the time, or somebody figures it out for him, he'll never be able to figure it out for himself. Yeah. So
it's so true. My son and I just went through a little thing last week where I'm trying to get him prepared for this new responsibility. And I'm like, we need to sit down. We need to talk about what bills you're going to be responsible for, and all the stuff that he needs to be mindful of. And he was like, why you can't just make me a list? And I was like, well, it's not my responsibility to do that. I'm going to help you, but I'm not doing it for you.
Exactly.
Because the same thing, if we keep doing it, especially for these men, my God.
Yes.
We just can't do that. We cannot over-mother them because they're going to be a mess for somebody else's person.
Exactly. For somebody else's person. I don't want my child to be a burden. I want him to have value as a man.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Speaking of, so, you said, and we kind of briefly talked about this also earlier. So that's something also I feel like in school, financial literacy from kindergarten. I feel like that's something that...
Credit.
Yes.
You need to be learning about credit in school.
Credit, money, just managing money, budgeting money. Yes. Like from the moment kids learn how to count money, they should learn how to budget it. I think, but emotional intelligence, just really from elementary school, like that's just something that we have to I feel like as women and mothers, this is a big one, and you don't have to join me on this one.
No,
but
I'm in full agreement.
But we almost have to take responsibility for the lack of emotional intelligence that our men have. Number one, because it's something that a lot of times as women, it's something we figure out on our own.
Right.
How to deal with our feelings and how to, because as women, we naturally are aware of our feelings.
Very aware.
Very aware. So, and we learn how to control them just from dealing with people and, just learning that. But we never really stray from our feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always the argument with a man. You're always in your feelings. Mm-hmm. And a man will say he doesn't have any feelings. And part of that is because we have kind of programmed them that way.
Which is a lie.
It's a lie.
Because what I have learned in my, and let me not generalize because I don't want nobody to, but what I have experienced is most men are way more emotional than we are.
Absolutely.
I mean, way more. Absolutely. They just don't necessarily express it. But it's in there. But what's crazy is so I've been in therapy for half my life. So for me, engaging with people, I'm already like on high alert of what I can see in them.
Right.
Not like I just know everything about a person, but I'm sensitive to a lot of things.
Right.
And so for me, it always shows up some kind of way.
Yeah.
It could be something very subtle. It could be something that's been consistent in their lives.
Right.
But it always shows up, no matter how much they try to deny it or not acknowledge it. It shows up.
Absolutely.
So.
You say you've been in therapy almost half of your life. What? So as an adult, you started going as an adult.
Yeah.
Made that decision on your own.
I did. Yeah.
Wow. I admire that. Because you were in your early 20s when you decided that, child.
I was. Well, at the time when I started, I just felt like I had so many things. And as I'm saying this, I feel like this has been the theme when I'm going back into therapy. There's like all of these things that I'm juggling at one time, and I'm just trying to get clear-headed about things. So the first time was me. I had my son. I was married. We had bought our first house. I was a veteran. I had a full-time job. You like all of these things, and I'm like, but I don't feel good about life. I don't feel great about things. And so I was like, let me just try therapy.
Okay.
See. But what I learned from my first experience with therapy is, well, first of all, the lady would sit there and we would be so quiet. I would hear her stomach growling, which was crazy. Crazy to me.
Right.
But what I learned was you do still need therapy, but a lot of times you can get what you get from therapy from some really good girlfriends. Now, I'm not talking about them girlfriends that's going, yes, girl, you, or just agree with you all the time.
Right.
But you can certainly get some of that from your sister circle.
Absolutely.
Now, the other part of that, though, is in therapy, sometimes therapists always can make the connection of, well, maybe this is because of this, or this is, they make those connections, but they are also able to help you move from one emotional space to the next. Right. And that's something your friends can't always do. Right. So, so it was beneficial in some ways. But it's like dating, like, you get an off therapist, you just got to keep trying it till you figure out where it works. Right.
How many have you had over the 20 years?
Maybe 6.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 6.
And do you have one now?
So my therapist left me a couple months ago. Let me tell you, when she told me she was leaving, I was like, her husband got a job in D.C. And she just had a baby. So, she was just trying to take some time off. And I was like, I hate to make this a sour moment for you, but I need you. Can I drive to D.C.? She was like, no, I won't be practicing. So I'm in between therapists right now.
Oh, goodness. Did she leave you recently?
She left in, what month is this? June? She left in April? No, maybe
I feel like
March or April.
It touched you a little bit.
Oh, my God. Listen, I loved her so much.
I can tell.
I really did.
How long had you been with her?
I started with her during COVID.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Was it virtual?
It was, I've never met her in person. Yep, all virtual.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Wow.
All virtual. So she was very helpful. And to be honest, I really wish I had one right now, because this whole thing, so, we had to reschedule because, I had to reschedule some other things, but my son totaled my car.
Oh, goodness.
And so all of the things that come with that.
Yes.
I'm still going through, and I don't have an outlet, but, I'm hoping that there will be a replacement soon. If not, because this is actually through the VA, through the vet center. They work with PTSD patients. Okay. So, but if not, then I'm probably just going to find an independent one.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh goodness. I haven't been to therapy. I say I have so to, but yep. And I know it is. And I look forward to when my therapist and I find each other. Yeah. I actually think I have found one. She's in training right now. She knows who she is. So, yeah, I'm going to call her.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so how long have you been, did you come, okay, no. So you were a veteran. How long were you in the military?
Oh, that's tricky because I never really remember. I want to say 9 years. Okay. I think 9 years. Part of that is like inactive. You have to be inactive for a while. But I was only deployed once. That was for a year. Wow. In Baghdad. So I spent part of the time in Kuwait and then most of it in Baghdad.
Wow. How was that?
It was.
Does it still affect you now, you feel like?
Absolutely. That's why I had to go to the vet center. Right. PTSD is a real thing that does not go away.
I'm realizing that.
Yeah. Now. So it was good, though, for me, which is interesting because at the time I was married when I was deployed, and I knew that, like, I didn't want to be there anymore. So I kind of, like, I'm actually ashamed of this, but I kind of used that as my out. Right. And so that's when I got divorced. But for me, it just gave me time, like after that ordeal, to just be by myself a lot. Read the books that I wanted to read. Just spend the time with me. Despite, rockets going off. It was still peaceful for me.
Yeah. Interesting.
I know it's weird when I say it that way, but that was
do you feel like you're a spiritual person? Do you feel like you're in tune with your intuition?
Do. Yeah, I do.
Do you so you felt safe even though, like you say, you were bombs going off, but for you to be at peace, you must have felt safe.
I did. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, even within your own spirit, you must have felt safe.
I did. I felt safe because I finally released what I had been holding on to before I left. And so it was just a moment for me to figure out, all right, now what do I want? Right. So just taking that time, I think I was. And I also think, like, women in the military, especially if you're like, you're cool with people, you kind of work well with people, the guys are like, look out for you. So I never felt like I was in a hard place. And I mean, there were some attacks that scared shit out of me, but for the most part, I felt pretty safe emotionally.
Right. Right. What was were you in combat? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Baghdad was there's like no front line because everything is being bombed. So,
right.
Yeah, it's interesting. And what's funny is I didn't realize I had PTSD. I just went to the VA and, I just was like, listen, I'm having some things going on. I don't know, these nightmares, because overseas I would watch these beheadings. This is nuts. But I would watch these beheadings. We would like sit around and watch beheadings like it was like soap operas,
like on video or something.
The secret internet, like the SIPRnet. Right. So they would show the whole film, and the film is like, it's like a filmmaker is making this. Like, there's intros, and they've kidnapped these people.
But this is real.
It's real. So they show pictures of like the people on vacation and with their families, and catching fish, and then they cut to the beheading, and then after the beheading, they roll credits. Like, it's crazy. Wow. So we would just watch that. And then when I came home,
for entertainment or for intel?
Just because we were sitting there with nothing to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had crazy nightmares. I still do sometimes.
That's funny you say that, because I literally just saw something. What is his name? Damson or the Franklin.
Who is that?
Oh, yeah, I don't watch it either, but I just know everybody call him Franklin. It's Lori Harvey's new boyfriend. Do you know?
Oh, Snowfall?
Yeah. I think that's it.
I haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
But he was saying that and I mean, literally over the weekend I saw it. I saw the clip twice. He was saying that he had seeked the dark side for his role, right? Mm-hmm. And so he, he was saying, he basically was saying devil show up or something to that effect. But anyway, he said he did basically, and he said, and it was nightmares. He said, for a long time he couldn't get away from the nightmares.
The power of the tongue, man.
Listen, Woo. And energy, and what you watch, what we listen to, mm-hmm. just all of the things that affect who we are, and just so how unconscious some of us are to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just really powerful. So it's really interesting that you would say that you had nightmares for.
Yeah, I did. And occasionally I have them now. Mm-hmm. It kind of comes and goes. So sometimes it's worse than mm-hmm. other times, but. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just have these dreams that somebody is going to break into my house and kidnap me and my son. And
oh my gosh,
it's crazy. You know how when you have a bad dream, like you wake up and you're sweating and your heart is. Yeah, just imagine that every night.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
So I still don't sleep through the night at all.
Wow. Mm-mm. So you still can have those dreams?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I still do. And that was, when did I get out? I was overseas for 2004.
Wow.
So we're in 2023.
19 years later.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do in the morning? Like, do you have a morning routine? I'm jumping. I usually don't get that to the end of the question, but because of, if this is what you're dealing with at night, I would imagine, because again, to me, it just seems like you're comfortable in your growth.
I am.
And so it's a level of peace that comes along with that.
Yep.
Just being comfortable in your growth. Mm-hmm. And it's work that has to be done to get to that place.
Yeah. And I'm also comfortable in my areas where I've not grown.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, but because of that, so do you have a morning routine?
I don't really have I wouldn't say I have a morning routine. I'm very regimented in how I operate, but it's not like intentional. It's just muscle memory at this point.
Gotcha.
So most mornings I try to get up and work out, mm-hmm. whether that's a walk or something I'm doing in the house, like mm-hmm. a YouTube video or whatever. If not, then I'm up, showering. In the shower is where I probably do a lot of like, all right, what do I have to do today? What's going on today? Uh-huh. Where do I need to be at this time? I do a lot of that in the shower. I do my morning Instagram post. I try to do one a day. And that's really it. Then I just go about my day. I have a to-do list though, because part of what I've just recently learned is PTSD. A symptom of it is I don't remember things because apparently I have high anxiety, so I'm thinking of all the things mm-hmm. all the time and mm-hmm. not being present. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to work on that. And so because I'm not always present, I don't always remember what we're talking about.
Right.
So I have to write down quite a bit.
Gotcha. Understood.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, girl. So I'm just having some aha moments with you saying just about, I have a feeling that I have anxiety, but I mm-hmm. might be high anxiety. But so when I asked that, this is, of course, I'm not coming from a place of judgment or mm-hmm. anything. I'm just wondering, like, so you don't make a conscious effort to, like, or you're not intentional about your thoughts when you wake up from these dreams? Or have you ever been has like a therapist has never said anything to you like about that? And I'm just curious, just because I'm just like, again, I'm doing a lot of work now on myself, and just being very mindful of my thoughts, and and just being not only mindful of my current thoughts, but of my subconscious thoughts. Recognizing that, even if I'm not thinking nothing, what am I feeling? And if I'm feeling just kind of blank or dull, or, that's not really a high vibrating, so what's going on around me? You know what I mean? Or what am I really thinking about? So I'm saying, if I woke up in a place of fear, I feel like at this point in my life, I would definitely have to be conscious about putting myself in a place of love before I get my day started.
I don't, because I'm so focused on, I got to get back to sleep. I need to sleep. So what I do sometimes though is I use a guided meditation thing that I listen to get rid of all of that and get back to a place where I can just sleep.
Yes.
But the thing is, I just don't stay asleep.
Okay.
So I don't. No, I don't. I probably should.
Wow.
I probably should.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I probably
love
should.
that. Okay. All right. So how long have you been doing hair?
15 years this year.
Okay. Is that something that has always been a passion of yours, or like how did you get into it?
I mean, it's always something I enjoyed. So as a kid, well, first of all, I'm tender-headed, so I hated getting my hair done as a kid. But what I enjoyed was coming into a salon space and just watching women come in like crazy.
Right.
But the relationship between the stylist and the client, just being so dope to me.
Yeah.
And then them being able to create something that now this woman she's walking out the door like feeling herself.
Yeah.
So I always appreciated that.
Right.
And so it's something I was always interested in. But we come from the same generation. Like for us, it's like you work a job until you retire, and that's it.
Right.
So it was never a reality to me until I went to Baghdad. And when you got rockets flying over you, it's a whole different. You're like, you know what? This is my bucket list. I'm about to knock this out because you just never know.
Exactly.
So no, it wasn't always like like I gotta do this. But it was always in the back
of your mind.
Yeah.
Right. And when you decided, did you decide all in, like, I'm going into this, I'm gonna get my license, I'm gonna open a salon? Like, were you clear about that, or was it like, I'm gonna just start with my license and see where this goes? Like,
I was clear that I wanted to own a salon, but I was also clear that I did not want to be behind a chair forever.
Okay.
And so, I worked in the corporate world for up until 35.
Okay.
I worked in the corporate world, and even then I was doing hair on the side, and I still couldn't visualize it. Like I couldn't see it. And then I put it out on Facebook one day. I said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur by 35. And it's crazy because that memory comes up now.
Yeah.
And I get to see it when it comes up. But I'm really goal oriented. So when I put it out there, I was like, okay, now I got to do it.
Right.
I said it to the people. So I got to do it.
Yes.
And so I did. I just, stacked up a whole bunch of money, and I was like, I'm out.
That's crazy. And haven't looked back since.
I mean, I look back, but
but haven't had to go back.
Cost me some things, but no, I haven't gone back.
That's
awesome. I haven't gone back.
I love that. So you say you didn't want to be behind the chair forever. Did you give that is there a goal date on that? Like a come from behind the chair date?
Ooh, there's not a specific date, but I'm definitely putting things in motion to get there.
Okay.
So yeah, it just still works in progress.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep. Yep. So, content creating.
You say that like I'm a social media manager or something.
I say it like you do a great job at it, and it's something that I struggle with. So,
Thank you.
at what point did you, was this your first attempt? Was this just like, when you said you were going to get a salon, be there, and was it your first attempt at saying, okay, I'm going to start doing this, or did you try a couple times? Have you?
I hated social media. I still like. it's not my favorite thing, but I recognize it. I have to do it. It's just the land of, the landscape of where we are.
Right.
You have to do it.
Right.
Especially if I know I'm trying to come from behind the chair, I have to be intentional about it.
Right.
But no, I was not a social media anything. I actually had I had a personal page and I had a business page, and eventually I didn't post much on the business page, but eventually I stopped on the personal page. Really, that was just because I got tired of people lying on social media. Right. And so I stopped and I was like, let me just focus here.
Okay.
But
and you only have your business page now.
I have the other one because I sometimes go back to that for pictures.
Gotcha.
But I don't use it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't use it at all.
And your posting is scheduled?
Let me tell you, because Instagram played me a couple times, because this is so I'm up in the middle of the night, so that's a lot of times when I'm scheduling, doing content, and I would schedule it for the next day, and then they would post it like at 3 a.m.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
Guys, no. So I stopped scheduling it. I just I save a bunch.
Gotcha.
And I'll post them when it's time. Usually in the morning is what my insights tell me.
Gotcha. Is it written on your to-do list?
Not now. Social media it's just part of my day.
Gotcha.
And it's funny because I didn't even take anything today, like getting the images. I probably will before I leave, but it's just it's like, all right, everything is content. Right. Which sucks because sometimes you just want to be in the moment. Yeah. And I am. Like when I feel like I need to be, I am.
Yeah.
But if not, then I'm working on let me just capture some content while I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about educating. So I know you used to work for a a pretty major brand, and so how long were you with them?
I was with them for 3 years.
And what made you say, what sent you in that direction? Was it just an opportunity that presented itself, or was it something that you said, okay, I want to do something else, let me see how?
It was so I worked for a smaller brand before that, which was totally different because that brand, shout out to Adiva Naturals, that's where I got my footing. Okay. But we did shows. We had to sell all the products. We had to be educated on all the products. We had to do demo. We had to do we setting up the tents. Right. It was grind work. Right. So it taught me a whole lot about brands and branding and whatever. And so the major brand opportunity was crazy because I wasn't looking. Somebody tagged me in it and was like, you should apply. And so I was like, oh, that would be fun because I like this brand. So and then I went and looked at the requirements, and it was like, do your resume, post 3 good pictures of your work, and then record a video of yourself. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Really?
I'm telling you, I did not like social media. So I was like, and I don't like being on camera. So certainly not talking directly to a camera. Absolutely not. Right. So I was like, no. Okay. So then a few months went by and I tried one of their products and I was like, oh, I like this. So then now I'm trying to do social media. And so I did it a little review of the product. So I'm doing my hair and I'm talking about it. And so somebody on the team commented, and we had started following each other recently. And she's like, you should really apply for that job. And I was like, no, the deadline passed. It's, Right. She's like, no, we extended it. So I'm like, God, is this you? So I went home and literally at the very last minute, I recorded my video. And wow. At night. Wow. So I'm like, surely I've missed the cutoff.
Right.
No, then I got a call back. So, and then I happened to, because I'm big on education for myself. And so one of the people who was looking, she called me. And I'm like, girl, you know my name, first of all. Right. But, and so what I will say is always be your best self. You don't know who is watching.
That's right.
Because she was like, and we didn't hear back from you. And I know that's not like you, but I hadn't gotten their communications. Okay. And so she, they hired me. Wow. And, I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Yeah. This is crazy. And people had told me, because I had started when I was almost homeless, I started a class called Twist and Talk, where I taught clients how to twist their hair. It was a hands-on class. And so people told me then, like, you're so patient. You teach so well. You should really think about... And I'm like, no, this is actually annoying. I'm like, I'm putting on. I could put on real well.
This is a show.
Ooh. You know, I have my little friends, so, you know. But they were always like, you really do a good job of, like, explaining it. So when I got that job, I was like, well, maybe I do well with it. And then I got it, and they started fast-tracking me through education. And so I was one of the first to teach classes and one of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was really a good, it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Would you ever do it again?
I don't know if I would be, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still kind of
on the fence.
Yeah, because because there were some things that kind of went a little bit left. And so maybe it was just that experience. Right. You know, I don't know.
Right.
But the idea of working for one brand, I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
But we'll see.
Okay. So, and so now you just, so you do education now?
I do, yep. I do independent education around texture. So I've taught at a lot of salons here in the city.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Do you think you would brand that?
Yeah. I mean, I have, but it's just a matter
just to make that like a full-time thing.
Yeah. I would love to. Okay. But just that's the thing that I miss about being with a brand. You have that backing. Right. And so while they send you opportunities, and when you're doing it yourself, you got to go after them. Right. And I'm still behind the chair. So that was part of my struggle. Teaching for a brand means you are traveling all the time. Right. And there's literally no days off. Gotcha. So you spend your time off prepping for a class, and then you're traveling for the class, and then you're teaching the class, and then you're traveling back, and then you're in the salon. Wow. So it's no and I'm real big on I need quiet time. Yeah. I can't. I mean, you're not gonna get the best of me. Yeah. You know.
I'm with you on that. Does it pay well?
It depends on how your deal is structured. So I was a contractor. It's not. It wasn't worth it, but the opportunity was worth it. Right. You know, the exposure was worth it. And the people that I have now been able to call friends and partners and people that I know in the industry, I couldn't pay for that.
Right. You know exactly. What I mean? Yeah. So it's a balance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I was at a point in my career where I could afford to do that. Right. You know, not everybody is there. Yeah. But I could afford to miss that time and get the pay that they gave me, and just take the opportunity. Yeah. But, you know, there are also ambassadors or other people who your agent connects you, and then they do a deal for you. And that's more lucrative. Gotcha. I don't have that kind of name yet in the industry, so, you know, not yet.
Yet. That's it. That's the key, honey. I love it. All right. So we're going to briefly talk about, because you said a couple times, you know, where you almost lost it all, you know, so and I just feel like, and I read your story online, which I just thought was, I hope that's not my phone. Is that my phone? I cannot believe I got my ring on. You can leave in the "is that my phone" part, but then cut that out. Yes. So you talked about you know, you went through the hardest time in your life. You kind of put that out online, and I just thought that was so admirable, because again, you know, people, we only see what we see. Yes. You know what I mean? And that's part of, you know, that's part of this platform, is just to let people have conversations about the hard things that we go through in life, because we go through them. That's just it. But that's just it. We go through them, you know, and getting to the other side. And so my intention is that by people seeing enough of other people's stories, challenges, it will just encourage them to just keep pushing through whatever you're going through, because it's likely going to always be something.
It is. And, you know, part of the reason why I put it out, I mean, it was many reasons why I put that story out, but it's because we see so much on social media that just does not show you the work. And I experienced this with my son. I remember when he graduated, he was like, you know, whatever I'm going to do, I just want to already be good at it. Like, I just want to be successful. And I was like, baby, don't work like that.
It does not work
like it's work. That. I had to, you know, I'm 10 years in before I could take a vacation and not worry about do I have to make up this time? You know what I mean? That's 10 years.
Yeah.
So not saying that it has to be 10 years, but just you got to understand that there's work to be done.
Absolutely.
But yes, I worked my corporate job, and I left at 35, and I had this, what I thought was a cushion. And then in entrepreneurship, you realize real fast that that cushion don't mean nothing. You know, when you don't have clients walking through the door, your books are filled, it don't mean too much. So, so I
ran through the cushion.
I did. And you know, what happened was I was like, I've been working since I was 14. Like, I'm going to just chill for like a little bit. I'm going to chill. I'm going to just let the clients come to me, which is the stupidest thing you could ever do.
You know what, though? In hindsight, not to cut your thought, but it's also one of, as cosmetologists, which I always tell girls when I go into school, like, you should have the mindset of an entrepreneur. They do not teach the business of cosmetology, and that should be a requirement.
Which, by the way, shameless plug. We got a business of beauty class coming up in August, and I'm just so excited about it.
I'm so excited, too. No shameless plugs, honey. We throwing all the plugs out there. So, okay, go ahead. So
you know, I was chilling. I was like, listen, y'all, if somebody calls, just call me. I'm at the house. You know, like, I'm just stupid. Just all kinds of stupid. And nobody to really be like, nah, you need to take your ass to work. Like, what you doing?
Right.
And so I did that. Like, I was coasting.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
how long did you coast?
Well, it takes a while before they send you a foreclosure letter. So at least 6 months.
Right.
But the mortgage was like, hey, girl. But I also had a financial advisor to tell me, you know, don't pay it for a while, and then they'll help you. You know. Mm-hmm. It's almost like that, you know, you got to be dirt poor to get some aid. So it's kind of like that mentality. So I didn't. But they was like, no, we're not going to help you. So I was just hit. And I was like, oh, my God, like, I could legit lose my house. So, you know, I had to call my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom, thank God I have a mom who is financially stable.
Yep.
And, you know, I can go to her for help, because I know everybody doesn't have that.
Right.
But my mom, she's going to hate me for saying this, but I've said it before. My mom was like, you know, how long are you going to give this? I'll never forget this. She was like, this sinking ship. And I was like, you don't see it, girl, but that's okay, because you're going to see it one day. My sister was pissed. My sister called my mom and was like, you don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Right. You know, meanwhile, my sister isn't either, but she's like, you don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she bailed me out, and literally she bailed me out like let's say it's a Tuesday. The foreclosure letter came in on Wednesday.
Wow.
And I kept that thing on my nightstand because I was like, I ain't never
going here again.
Never. That's when I came up with Twist and Talk.
Yeah.
I started asking all my friends, like, you know, I have a lot of business owner friends. I'm like, if you're doing an event, let me know. I'm gonna be your beauty sponsor. I just need just put my logo out there, put my name out there. And so I started to build a reputation. I started to do events with there was a team of girls that, what is it called? The Power of Her, I think. I can't remember the name of it. But they were instrumental in getting me in front of people in Richmond, because they did events around the natural power of her. And they did events around natural hair. So they would always have me come in as an educator. Yeah. And so I got a ton of clients from that. You know, we Black people resilient.
Yes. Like we are.
We gonna get it done.
That's right.
So you tell me I'm about to lose my home.
Let me figure out.
Gear.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And so that's what I did. And eventually, you know, I started to do okay. And then my business partnership was just weird. So I ended up leaving that and going into my own place, and that's where Parlor started. Okay. And that was 2016. So it's been up since then.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been up.
That's awesome. I love, one of my favorite videos is the one where you talk about, and I still reference it. I hear it in my head when I'm running behind. when you like, be there 15 minutes early, turn the water on, warm the water. I'm like, you know what, girl? You better talk that great customer service talk.
Part of it is corporate. Coming from corporate, but it is also like the military is big on like discipline, self-discipline, and integrity, and just being organized and structured. Because in the Army, it's life or death. If you're all over the place, you could
you probably gonna
cause some things for you and the people around you.
Right.
So yeah, and it's crazy because I don't. This is an industry of artists, so. People look at me crazy. They don't do the same things. But look, I'm going to be here early. I'll greet your client for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But, yeah, absolutely taking care of my customers because this is a relationship industry.
It is.
It's mostly relationship.
It is.
And so, I've messed up heads, but they come back because of relationship.
Exactly.
And so all of those little things are what's important for me. It's the little things and how I make people feel, and do they feel special, and am I reliable?
Right.
So yeah, my clients know when they come in, usually I'm waiting on them.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them.
I love that for your clients. Goals. I've been doing pretty good though.
That's good.
Yep. All right, let's see. I think, we've been talking. I think our time is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like
is that 46? Is that how long we've been talking, Ray? 46? Wow. Yeah. We're almost there. So I have my 3 signature questions, and that probably will take us on out of here.
Okay.
So the first one we've already answered about you having a morning routine. Let's see. My second one is, do you journal?
I do not journal.
Okay.
But I am in my head quite a bit.
Okay.
And I do, it's not journaling, but I have my safe friends that I can spit all of that out to, and we have a dialogues. But I don't, mainly because I just don't keep a book.
Gotcha.
I got a bunch of these at home that I say I'm going to use, but I don't.
Okay. Has therapy ever encouraged you to? Over your years, have you ever had therapists encourage you to?
They encouraged me to write a letter.
Okay.
Especially like around my daddy issues. They encouraged me to write a letter to my dad.
Okay.
So,
have you ever done it?
I did.
Okay.
I did write a letter to him before he died.
Okay.
And I was good after that. Like I was okay. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't give it to him. But I definitely said some of the key points in it. I said it to him before he died.
Okay. What is your joyful truth in this moment?
My joyful truth is that it's my painful and my joyful truth. It's my son. It's I'm super proud of him. Like for graduating from Hampton, because his dad and I, neither one of us graduated from college.
Yeah.
But he graduated, and even though he's doing whatever he's doing, I can recognize that he is doing what 22-year-olds do. Exactly. The problem is I just don't want to see it. Right. I don't want to see it day in and day out. So I am proud of that, and I'm excited about what's ahead of him. Yes. Because he's a great kid. Yeah. He's a great kid.
Yes. So no, I can relate to truth. Yes, I concur. Yes. That was awesome. So, do you have any questions for me?
How do you think this process has gone with you starting this podcast? How do you
I think it has been a very refreshing, but it's still what I'm realizing now is it's still work. You know what I mean? It's still work that I have to commit to. I still like you, I hate social media. I'm gonna take that back. I don't hate social media because I need it. Yeah. And so I love social media. That's it. Mindset. Change that mindset. Exactly. Okay. I love social media. Social media is gonna make me rich. So I'm just joking, but not really. If you really commit to it, it can. Seriously, no joke. So why I'm playing, but so that is that's where I'm at in this process, is just like really wrapping my head around my commitment to it, what I want to come from it. You know, I do want to, at first it was just about building a following so that I could get a publishing deal, you know, because you have to have a following. But I kind of wanted to really serve a purpose that is greater for me and for my followers, you know. So I really want to be intentional. Part of it, journaling has kind of gotten me to this place in my life where I definitely know I could benefit from therapy, but I feel like I've done a lot of the therapy work myself just from journaling. So I really want to have a component where I kind of incorporate that into the show. Haven't necessarily figured that out. So just, it's been a beautiful thing. Every conversation I have, I learn something. I feel like I gained something from everyone, you know, just being able to learn about what people have been through. Again, everybody goes through something. So I think that I am still in the very early stages of this. And I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. I'm kind of excited to see the opportunities that it opens up for me, the doors that it opens up for me. But still, again, just really giving it that journal writing component, because that's really what it's all about. Like, I feel like that is my message. Get you a book and write you some things.
I'll say that I'm not a podcaster because again, my mind is always moving. So it's always like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Let me make this phone call. Let me, whatever. So I'm not necessarily a podcaster. So when you asked me, and I saw that you launched it, and I was, you know, I'm always proud of people for having a vision and like seeing it actually come to fruition. That is inspiring to me. So when you asked me to be on it, I was like, well, let me go do some homework and go listen to some of these episodes. And I did. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, the selection of guests, I was honored.
Yeah.
But it was just a really good, insightful experience.
Yes. And so that's it too for me, you know, just being I'm very intentional about my guests. You know, I'm solid on that. Like, you know, and so for instance, I had a month where I didn't have an episode, and not putting no pressure on myself, you know, recognizing that I'm building something, but also not letting it become a burden to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take the joy, right? Yeah. And I don't want to take the joy out of it. So, but I'm very intentional about my guests because I do feel like, I just know, I'm like, oh, we're going to have a good conversation. I do. And we did.
Yeah, we really did.
We did. So thank you for being you're actually I have one more episode, but that's going to be a special episode. So you're my official last guest of this season.
The closer.
Yes. So,
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it so much. You know, we're going to go ahead and yes. But this has been the 9th episode, final episode for season 1 of the Painful Truth podcast. We will have a bonus episode coming right after this. And then we probably will take another month break. So I'm just going to put that out there now while I do focus on building my brand and in a way that I can deliver consistently. So I thank you all. I thank Lenise for joining me. Always remember, follow the light, feel the love through the pain. Light and love, always, always.